This is a Bugaboo Buffalo wheel, and we're going to show you today how to remove the axle and how to get at the ball bearings in case you need to replace the ball bearings or the axle or elements of the rim and you want to keep the axle or the ball bearings. So whichever parts you need to swap out. What you need to do is to flip the wheel over. You need to remove these 5 screws. It has one of these little star-headed bits. It's a CRVT20. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but that's the name of it. Just gonna remove all these screws. And this process is the same on the donkey wheel, in case you have troubles with the donkey wheel as opposed to buffalo. Okay, pull out all these screws, and now you can remove the spoke element. You can actually do it on both sides. So there's the back side, there's the front side. Now we're going to pry off this. This is actually a cap on one end of the axle, and when you look at it, it looks like the head of the axle, like on a screw, but it's actually separate from the axle itself. So you want a flat-headed screwdriver, you want to get it underneath and start prying it up. And try not to break it. So a little bit on one side and around. So the same process as removing the cap on a Bugaboo chameleon. So if you look at those videos, you'll see information as well. And underneath there is a locking washer, and this one's actually broken. If yours is broken as well, this actually holds the axle pretty tightly without it, but it's of course better to have that as an extra bit of tightness. There is one further washer there, and then you can just slide out the axle. If the axle is out, you can also get at the ball bearings with the flat-headed screwdriver. Just prying it out like this. Put it back in. There's another ball bearing on the other side. In order to reassemble the wheel then, you're going to take the axle and slot it back in through the back and follow the reverse order on your washers. There. This one was broken, as I said, but I'm going to place it on anyway so that it has the correct distance between the wheel and the cap, so that the axle is not loose afterwards. You want to put your axle down on something you don't mind damaging, because you're going to hammer a little bit here, and then you're going to put the cap on top. And now, in order to hammer the cap back in place, a rubber mallet would be ideal. I don't have that here, and I tend to use spoons. So I have this ice cream spoon, a bit smaller than a tablespoon, and I have bent it. And this is going to help maintain that round shape of the cap. If you just hammer straight with a hammer, you'll flatten it and dent it. Still popped up a little bit on one side. Let's spin it a bit. There we go, nice and tight. And then we're just going to replace the hubcaps. There's the front side, back side. We just screw them back in. Anyway, that's how you disassemble this wheel if you need to swap out the axle or the ball bearings. And I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, we ask that you subscribe, as it helps us to continue making videos in the future.